Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick thing because I'm kind of pressed for time as I'm recording this, but essentially I did the Patreon thing. I talked about it in the last video, and before that video even went live I ended up drafting a Patreon, and it was like a lot easier and less time consuming than I thought it was going to be, so yeah, by the time this video goes up, Patreon will be live, and it's a thing now. Nobody watching any of these videos is under any obligation or anything like that, but I wanted to make it an option because for people who may or may not be paying attention or may not be following me on Twitter, I'm kind of miserable in my current work situation and I'm trying to find as many avenues out of it as I can. And one of those potential avenues is possibly bringing in a little extra money through Patreon, which again, not trying to make anyone feel obliged to do it, it's just like the option is there and it would absolutely be a big help. But simply watching the videos is great. The response to the last vlog, it legitimately felt really good seeing some of your responses and how, like, it's nice knowing that there are several of you out there who actually do like this weird thing that I do. Anyway, Patreon details, because again, gotta be quick. It's just one tier, like I said, one tier, $1. It's kind of the standard Patreon type stuff. I will probably go in and tweak it so that like I can do like Patreon, like patron mentions. I'm just not entirely sure the best way to do that currently because of the way my videos are currently set up, so it's probably something that I'll add to the tier later. The $1 tier is essentially stuff like early access to videos, which, for whatever that means, basically I'll just post stuff as soon as it's ready for Patreon, and then it'll go up on YouTube like 2 or 3 days later. There's going to be access to polls and things like that, so like if I'm trying to decide what I want to make a video on next and you're a patron, you'll be able to vote in the poll to help me decide what to do next. Also, I'm kind of rolling in the graphic design thing that I've been doing for my Etsy shop into the Patreon as well. So if you're not into the videos, but you're into the goofy pop culture-y graphic design things that I do, then that's an option as well. And again, just the $1 tier, but you'd also potentially have input on future designs, things like, you know, maybe if I'm having trouble deciding things, possibly making suggestions. Not saying I would necessarily take every single thing suggested by a patron, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff involved in this whole process, but it's an option that is there. Depending on how things go, I'll probably at some point end up adding more tiers as things go on, and it would just be essentially building off of what's already there. Like, I have no intention of making things that are accessible via the $1 tier, making those something like suddenly it's only available in a higher tier and you have to like upgrade it, because I don't think that's cool. But I have no idea, like, I'm totally flying by the seat of my pants, for lack of a better term, with this right now, because I still feel really weird setting up a Patreon, but again, I'm more setting it up as an option, kind of like how I set up a copy page. So if you are so inclined, no pressure, no judgment, no nothing, because I'm terrible about signing up to people's Patreons. I'm currently subscribed to like 3 right now, and one of those is Diana. So I'm not particularly good at keeping up with that stuff either, so I completely understand. But yeah, just putting that out there. I can't say for certain what the next video is going to be, because I still haven't really managed to figure out what I'm going to do next, or if I'm going to change any formats in a huge way or anything like that. But I have a couple of slight ideas. I just have to kind of flesh them out a little bit more. Other than that, I've been busy, and also I did some custom work on Studio Series Grimlock. For the time being, here you can get a little bit of a look at him, kind of see what I've done. It's minor stuff like the black on the shins, boots, whatever you want to call it, black on the forearms, silver on the waist, and then the silver on the dino arms and teeth. Also painted the neck black. Didn't realize that was gray until I really looked at the figure. But yeah, it's a bunch of little details that I think add up quite a bit. And I might add some more in the future, but currently, because of the nature of the paint that I'm using, which is the Testors enamel paint that I always use because that's what I have access to, I want to give it a few more days to like fully set before I transform him into Dino mode and see if I want to make any more tweaks to it. I'm still kind of on the fence about what I want to do with these shoulders, so hey, if any of you have any ideas, let me know. My plan initially was to paint these black, like the circle bits on the inside there, to kind of match the black on the forearms and the shins. But once I did the forearms, it kind of seems like these pop enough without any extra color in them. I may or may not want to paint the dino tail, but because of the way it kind of tucks into the leg there, I'm not sure if I want to risk that because it'd be a big risk for paint rubbing. But yeah, if anyone has any thoughts, feel free to chime in on what I should not, or should have done with Grimlock here. That is it. Once this video is up, there will be links to Patreon down in the description, as well as at the end card. And I'm going to be going back and retroactively adding those links to all previous videos as well. We'll see how that goes. Thank you all for watching. Thank you very much if you are able to and decide to contribute to the Patreon, and if not, thank you very much for watching my videos. See you next time. Next time it'll be an actual video on a toy and not just me standing in front of the camera talking about weird non sequitur life stuff.